Hello and welcome to the Middle School Bookmarker Super Quick Book Preview Show. This episode, we're checking out Refugee by Gratz. Let's give it a preview and see if you want to read it. Josef, Berlin, Germany, 1938. Crack! Bang! Josef Landau shot straight up in bed, his heart racing. The sound, it was like someone had kicked the front door in. Or had he dreamed it? Josef listened, straining his ears in the dark. He wasn't used to the sounds of this new flat, the smaller one he and his family had been forced to move into. They couldn't afford their old place, not since the Nazis told Josef's father he wasn't allowed to practice law anymore because he was Jewish. Across the room, Josef's little sister Ruth was still asleep. Josef tried to relax. Maybe he'd just been having a nightmare. Something in the darkness outside of his room moved with a grunt and a scuffle. Someone was in the house. Josef scrambled backward on his bed, his eyes wide. There was a shattering sound in the next room. Krish! Ruth woke up and screamed in sheer blind terror. She was only 6 years old. Mama! Josef cried. Papa! Towering shadows burst into the room. The air seemed to crackle around them like static from a radio. Josef tried to hide in the corner of his bed, but the shadowy hands snatched at him, grabbed for him. He screamed even louder than his little sister, drowning her out. He kicked and flailed in a panic, but one of the shadows caught his ankle and dragged him face first across his bed. Josef clawed at his sheets, but the hands were too strong. Josef was so scared that he wet himself, the warm liquid spreading through his nightclothes. No! Josef screamed. No! The shadows threw him to the floor. Another shadow picked up Ruth by her hair and slapped her. That'll wrap up an exciting and terrifying passage preview. Let's take a look at some reviews and stuff. Amazon gives this book a 4.5 out of 5 stars based on almost 7,500 ratings. And Common Sense Media gives this book a 5 out of 5, saying it is appropriate for ages 11 plus. Here comes the back of the book blurb, but first, if you're enjoying this book preview and if it's helping you figure out if you want to read this book or not, would you mind hitting like and subscribe? It'll help me get the right books in different kids' hands. A New York Times bestseller. Josef is a Jewish boy living in 1930s Nazi Germany. With the threat of concentration camps looming, he and his family board a ship bound for the other side of the world. Isabel is a Cuban girl in 1994. With riots and unrest plaguing her country, she and her family set out on a raft, hoping to find safety in America. Mahmoud is a Syrian boy in 2015. With his homeland torn apart by violence and destruction, he and his family begin a long trek toward Europe. All three kids go on harrowing journeys in search of refuge. All will face unimaginable dangers, from drownings to bombings to betrayals. But there's always the hope of tomorrow. And although Josef, Isabel, and Mahmoud are separated by continents and decades, shocking connections will tie their stories together in the end. This action-packed novel tackles topics both timely and timeless: courage, survival, and the quest for home. Refugee by Gratz is a historical fiction and an adventure book. The page length is 352, and the audiobook is 7 hours and 37 minutes. All right, let's wrap this baby up. Moment of truth, is this book for you? If not, you can check out some of the other content we have on the Middle School Bookmarkers YouTube channel. We have movie watch-alongs, we have book clubs, and we have a ton of book previews. Thank you so much for checking out this book with me. Be sure to hit like and subscribe, and I hope you find something that you want to read.